I'm impressed by the amount of times they're able to eat throughout the day. You'd be a good travel partner. That's what I'm saying. Connor hates traveling with me because I eat too much. But it's like, when you're in a new place, you want to be able to try everything, right? Thank you. Thank you for recognizing my potential. Today we're building the Cat 65. This is a collaboration between 3ildcat and Jacky design. Jacky has done the Highton bear. Jacky is by far one of my favorite designers, so huge honor that he asked me if I'd be interested in building this. I have the mint green unit actually. Here is the board. So 65% with a blocker separating the arrow keys. This is the mint green unit. It's a little darker in person, but my camera lighting is really bright. One of Jacky's like signature is usually like thick, thick bezels. We see that with elephant or a piggy. So this is a really neat side. It's very curvy, as you can see. There's no sharp lines. Here's the back. You notice this curve? It matches the sides. So you got this little cute cat weight. You got like the triangle feet. So centered USB port. Here's a front lip. The design is supposed to represent a cat between 3ildcat and Jacky's design language. This is the shape that they came up with. This is supposedly like a new curve design. Because I don't know if you guys remember the Highton or the dolphin. It was also very curvy. This curve is a little bit more sleek in my opinion. And it says the bottom is designed to match the top cover's arc. Group by starts on the 10th, but it says subject to change. In terms of colors, so you have 3 E-coded colors. You have cream, lavender, and white. You have powder coating, which is the mist pink. And then you have anno colors, so gem black, silver, mint green, and violet. So 8 colors. This one I have is the mint green. It is a spring mount keyboard, and we'll look a little bit into it. In terms of plates, you have PC, Aqua FR4, and brass. It actually is like aqua color. For PCB, there's hot swap and solder. And then for the weight, I have the E white one, but you can also get a black cat. But let's look at the plate. So that is one thing I noticed about the plate. I have PC and the FR4 one. So check this out. So here is the Aqua FR4. And then here's the PC plate. The Aqua FR4, it is a skeleton plate, as you can see. But it is like this nice aqua color. Just a standard PC plate. You can see the mounting points. So you have 4 up top, and then you have 4 on the bottom. So a total of 8 mounting points. And then we can look at the PCB. So I have this hot swap version. It does use daughter board JST. So look at the difference between these daughter boards. So the Jacky daughter board does not have a protector in case you use the wrong cable, but this one does. So if you use the wrong cable, it's not going to burn out because there's a protector. This one does not though. So you would think like, oh, these 2 cables are the same, right? But they're not. So the orientation for the JST cable actually does matter. And if you use the opposite on a daughter board that does not have a protector, you can set your PCB on fire. I learned that the hard way. Anyways, so looking at the PCB, no flex cuts. This is the hot swap version. Bottom layout is set. You have a choice of stepped or regular caps lock. That's like the only choice you get. Of course, there is a solder version. There's also an LED indicator for the caps lock, as you can see right here. The solder version, you can change the bottom layout. You can split the left shift, and there's ISO support as well. So let's look at the internals of this. It is a screwless case design. There's no visible screws. The screws are on top here. 2 up here, 2 on the side, 1 on each side, 2 on the bottom. So it's a total of 6 screws all around the case. So here you can see the spring mounts. So 4 on top, 4 on the bottom. There are, it looks like 3 screws keeping in the cat badge. So there are different springs from what I saw. The ones in here right now are 165. I also have 115. And then there's also these silicone bits. Neat. It says, between the spring and the positioning plate, we have thick silicone particles to act as buffers. Both the silicone and springs are custom made. It's kind of funny because I'll remember very like obscure stuff, but then I can't remember like important details to save my life sometimes. That's like, I don't even like remember my own age sometimes. Or I don't remember like big important dates, but I'll remember like something that, for example, Potato told me randomly in stream like 6 months ago. You know? Like I'll randomly remember random details like that. This is the Cat 65. This is a spring-mounted keyboard. So what that means is that it uses actual springs to mount. So these are the actual springs. So 65% with the arrow key blocker right here. You can see it's very curvy. So you can actually change this out. So this is the white and it also comes in a black. You have the cute triangle feet. And I'll show you guys the internals. The silicone gaskets on the plate have these pulls to keep it from moving out of place completely from the springs. So you don't have to worry about it like potentially like shifting completely. So you have the springs on the bottom case, see right here? And these have anchor points that the springs fit on pretty tightly, but it's not like so tight that it's like hard to assemble. You kind of hear a click once you put it in place. So there's two spring weights that I was given. There was 115 and also 165. This is the 115, right? And you see I have to actually use a lot of force to press it all the way down. The mounting has two parts to it. So while it is spring, there's also a silicone gasket to keep it in place. The silicone gasket slides in through right here. It's a really tight fit too. So the orientation of it does matter. So this is what the silicone gasket looks like on the plate. And you can see like the smaller head is on top and then the bigger rounder part is on the bottom. And then there's also this like pole, or I was calling it a nipple, but there's this nipple right here or bar right here. And this is what prevents the springs from moving out of place. So this is what it looks like. Keeps it from moving out of place. It also helps you align it. And with the poles, it makes it so that you can't just like whoosh, like slide it completely off. This is going to sound very weird, but someone asked me like how it feels typing on it. And here's the interesting thing, is that it's not as like bouncy as you would think it is. So you know when you type on like a board with like a brass plate, and when you type on it, you can really feel the force of the plate pushing back against you, and you can really feel the feedback whenever you type on it. Because you are using the spring mount, you don't really feel that feedback. That feedback is absorbed by the springs. So even though you're typing on it and you think it would be really bouncy, it's not, because these springs are so hard to like push down. But you also don't get that like harsh feedback because the spring absorbs a lot of the impact of it. However, the 165 gram ones, you can feel the feedback. I personally would not use the 165. You would think it would absorb the feedback, and it does, but because it's like so stiff or so hard to push down, it is then that you feel that, oh, there's something pushing back on it. So I think if you want like a stiffer typing experience, you would definitely go for the 165 grams. And if you want something that is not as stiff, then I would go 115. As for the plates, more flexy, I would go for this one and then the 115. And then another thing I will say is that I'm not sure if this is the final PCB design, but I actually would not use clip-ins because sometimes it's not a problem, but as you can see, the clip-in hole is not fully secured. So I put shims in this, but it fell out. And it's the same for the space bar right here. And I just think because it's not like fully secured and like a closed circle, that using screw-ins is the way to go for this board. So obviously if you're a fan of Jacky, this is definitely within Jacky's like known design language with the like chonky bezels, thick boards. I will say spring mounting is like pretty interesting, but yeah, that's the build. Thank you to Jacky for reaching out to me and letting me build it. A huge fan of Jacky's work. That's the board. I'm done building it. Cute.